So tomato vine leaves are kind of like people. They play a supportive cast when you need it. And when it's time and their role is done, they shrivel and usually just fall off. Sometimes you got to cut them away, but then there's new ones that grow up. So keep that in mind. Some people are here to support you for a certain time. And when their job is done, they'll shrivel up. And sometimes they hang on. And sometimes you have to encourage them to move on. Because you've grown. And you've healed in different ways. And new leaves will grow up in their places. So I've made my way around to get tomatoes. I've made my way through a path and chopped off some of the leaves in the way. And I got to the gagutsa vine. And it says, you shall not pass. So that's as far as I'm going to go to the back. I'm not going back there. There's where all the butternut squash are growing pretty well. But I wanted to come around here and see if I can get any more tomatoes. Now, I'm not going to get every single one that's here, and I probably couldn't if I tried. So the ones that are deflated and really overripe, the seeds are just going to fall to the ground. And next year, well, they're going to fall to the ground, they're going to overwinter, and next year I will have volunteer plants and I won't have to even start tomatoes because they'll know when to start and when to keep going. Remember that as soon as the vines start sending that hormone down to ripen some of them on the top, it's actually coursing through the rest of the tomatoes as well. So I'm going to collect this whole bunch. These are smaller, but they are going to get ripe inside. So the birds, squirrels, possums, you name it, won't get it to them. Believe it or not, I think there's some good things about summer blight. And that is that I can reach my hand in, and I know I'm not going to touch a hornworm. Can anyone else relate? Let me know in the comments. Now I do have this wild blackberry growing along the fence pretty well. So I think what I'm going to do is train it, because it's got pickers and pokers. I think I'm going to train it along the privacy fence and let it take over just as another barrier against critters or unwanted guests. That's how many I got. Just what, half an hour. And I still have more to get, but I think I'm going to schedule that for tomorrow in the early morning. Let's check the gagoots. Oh, that one's ready. That one's still growing. I thought there were a couple others that are still growing. There's one. And then the butternut squash is coming along pretty well. It's starting to turn that nice tan color. And I'm going to wait for the stem to turn brown. That one's really close. Up there, up there, up there. And then there are probably 25 more growing all up in here. So for whatever reason, they're very happy. All right, this evening's harvest, we have a very large gagutsa and a very large monarch who's just about ready to make a chrysalis. We got 5 paste tomatoes, a whole lot of salad tomatoes. I try to keep them separated, The larger ones over here, and then cherry and the Mexican midget tomatoes over here. And then we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 chicken eggs and 1 duck egg. Dun, da, da. The Lord is very, very, very good. Very good. All right, so for tomatoes, I do like to cut them in bunches, like keep them on the vine. They last longer. And I do like to cut them even if they're green. so that they will ripen. As long as a little bit of it is yellow and orange, the rest will ripen. And then what I'll do is I'll take a beach towel and I'll put it over the top, and that kind of keeps that hormone that ripens them, it keeps it inside this area. So the very ripe ones will start sending that out to the green ones, and then they will ripen a little bit sooner. And then if I see any that have cracks in them, usually I take them off. I don't keep them. I didn't catch that one. But then I also will go through in a couple days and I will look for anything that looks like it is starting to get crushed or not so good and get rid of those.